Welcome back to Dungeon Master Tactics. Today we're going to talk about the 5th edition Doppelganger and how you can use its specific stats to replace certain people in society. You've all probably heard stories of doppelgangers replacing adventures in campaigns. Heck, I myself have done it in one of my campaigns before as well. But in a more realistic scenario in my mind, what kind of people would the doppelganger try to replace to align with its stats that it currently has? A doppelganger's highest stat is dexterity, followed by con and charisma, both being 14. If your adventuring group is going off an ability point buy system, a doppelganger is easily just as dexterous, if not more dexterous, than your monk or your rogue. So if you think about it, a doppelganger could easily replace people at a local crime syndicate or at a monk temple. And although a doppelganger is not as wise as a monk or as intelligent as someone from a rogue syndicate, it could still probably get by at least for a little while with its ability to read thoughts. And then moving on to Constitution, a doppelganger could easily replace a manual laborer at a worksite they might be trying to investigate or infiltrate. Especially if a doppelganger is trying to play the long game and work long hours at certain sites to get certain information. And before you ask, a doppelganger actually has a strength of 11, which makes it just as strong, if not a little bit stronger, than your common workers. So if a doppelganger is at a worksite where it does manual labor or possibly loading ships for a merchant guild, it could slowly but surely work its way into either scenario. And now that I've mentioned working its way into a merchant guild, we're going to segue into charisma. In a point-buy system, a doppelganger with a charisma of 14 is going to be just as charismatic as some paladins. So working its way into a merchant guild would be almost perfect. And once a doppelganger has gotten enough information and worked its way up through the merchant's guild so it can finally get meetings with the mayor, replacing the mayor just seems natural. Additionally, mayors and speakers in D&D 5th edition use the noble stat block, and it has a charisma of 16. And the doppelganger has a charisma of 14. But here is where it gets interesting, because the doppelganger has a +5 deception, which is equal to a noble's +5 deception and +5 persuasion. So although the doppelganger's modifier is not equal to the noble stat block, its deception is. Which honestly makes the doppelganger like the peak fake it till you make it character. So I guess what I'm trying to say to Dungeon Masters is, don't be afraid to have a doppelganger replace really important people, because it has the skill set to do it. That is going to be all for Dungeon Master Tactics today. Don't forget to check back in later for future episodes. I'm a Winter Blaze, and I'll see you next time.